to Apefoo, Life Warrior, episode 13. Today I will talk about the importance of applying any strength that you gain. I know gaining strength is a fun factor of any regimen that you may employ, but it's also important to remember that without using this strength, it's wasted. Because gaining strength simply for show, whatever the reason is, it's not good enough. You've got to be able to apply your strength and implement it into your activity and make it functional for it to be applicable to what you do. So that's what today's message is. Enjoy the video and hope you subscribe.
Hi, so today I'll be getting the day off with some strength training. Like I mentioned, I want to make it as applicable as possible to my regimen, otherwise there's no point in doing it. So over here you see me doing squat / deadlift type motion, and I'm trying to just pick the weight up to allow my legs, give my legs more movement. You see me performing simple marching type steps. I'm trying to simulate the motions that I go through when I'm practicing my technique. So you see me trying to balance on one leg, etc. It's important to have caution when carrying any sort of weight. Obviously, you don't want to pick you up on your foot or anything, so always have caution. Don't overdo it. Over here, you see me using a sandbag weighing 20 kilograms as opposed to the 35 kilogram dumbbells I was holding earlier. You see me just practicing the motions as I was saying earlier. I'm trying to keep the technique as perfect as possible while doing this. Obviously, kicking high is much more difficult. As you can see, it puts a lot more strain in your body. But now that I've taken it off, even when I'm wearing a vest, my moves are a lot more controlled, and I have a lot more precision with my technique. So as you can see, it has instant impacts. The strength that I was gaining earlier is applicable to the technique that I'm doing now. So this is why I'll probably be implementing more and more strength into my regimen now. Another good adaptation you could do is take your hands out of the equation, as it forces your core to work a lot more and forces you to have a lot more balance and composure when you're doing your training. You're doing the side kicks, your push kicks, your knees, your spinning back kicks. You want to always remember that technique is essential. Don't let you pick up any bad habits. They're difficult to correct later on. Here you see me using the washing line, just using it as a height, trying to stay close to it as possible so I work with more control. And then I'm folding that up in some bag work. I'm implementing some boxing, doing some elbows, and obviously the roundhouse kick. They're very popular. And over here you see me ending session 1 now with some strength training. As you can see, working the core is an extremely important element for any martial arts or any person who practices sports, as that's where all the power comes from. Right, you always see me doing this particular exercise here. When you're going one way, you're working a different side of your core, and you're going another way, you're working another side of your core. So in doing both sides, you really target the core, and it allows you to rest in between as well. Over here you see me performing a normal pull-up, except I'm holding some sloper type grips here. That makes it a lot more difficult to hold, so it improves my grip strength a lot more. So when it comes to doing this particular core exercise, I can hold on to the bars for a lot longer, try and keep my elbows locked in those positions while I work my core. And now that I've taken my vest off, the relief is absolutely amazing. As you can see, my speed and my flexibility is increased a great deal. Obviously, since I've just taken my vest off, my technique isn't perfect yet because my mind has to adjust to not wearing the weight anymore. So technique's not although it's extremely important, control is also important. So over here you see me maybe not working so much on speed, but just trying to keep it controlled, because you don't want your technique to falter. Even though making movement of any sort is important when you're training, sometimes your technique is also important. Over here you see me performing a very good exercise to really stretch your hamstrings and your groin, and it's also a very good cardiovascular type exercise. It's equivalent to sprinting almost, I see it as that. So now you see me implementing that particular cardiovascular activity into my technique, and it shows good results. As you see me practicing this technique earlier with the vest, now that I've taken the vest off, I have a lot more control and a lot more freedom in my movements. It's also important to remember that control is an extremely important element, which is why you see me performing it in tight spaces. So I'm just mixing out with a side kick, then a knee, and then spinning back kick, and then a roundhouse kick. That's the common combination that I employ. And over there you just see me doing a bit of boxing. Boxing is just like 3 punches with the hook, the jab, and the uppercut. And then obviously you could use an elbow instead of an uppercut, and a cross as well. Over here you see me working my core again. But whenever I've taken the vest off, I could go full motion, and then like try and do like a handstand type thing. And then from there you could just switch it up. If you can't get to the bar, switch it up to like a sit-up, which is a good way to just to catch your breath back, as other exercise requires a lot of strength. And then from there you could just go straight to a muscle up type motion here. It's like a normal pull-up, except you're working a lot more muscles for a lot longer period of time by having a lot more full range of motion with each pull-up that you do. So that's why you see me doing the muscle up type thing there. But I'm trying to keep it slow and controlled, not trying to do it in a dynamic way, so that I work muscles more that way as well. Over here you see me doing 1 finger chin-ups. They're very good for developing your finger strength and also your core as well, like any other pull-up. Now that I've taken things inside for phase 3 today, I'm doing that simple working the core type business again. It's a great way to get started, as it builds up a lot of energy that you can just instantly implement into any technique that you practice, even given that you're inside. You want to be wary that space is also a factor. That's why I normally try and keep it as static as possible and try to utilize as much little space as possible to really work on that control that I emphasized on earlier. So over here, I'm just working through the same combos that I was working on outside, except now that I'm inside, I'm keeping it a lot more control. So I normally spend about an hour or so doing that before I go back outside, and then try and do some more strength training just to get myself warmed up instantly. And over here you see me trying to lift the 35kg dumbbells, but it's slightly too much for me this time, so I couldn't do it. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean I drop the weight and give up. It means I still hold on to the weight, keeping it high up and controlled, and then try and work on my balance and coordination while I'm up there. As you can see, again, it has instant effects on my flexibility. I'm able to try stuff I haven't tried before. So over here you see me doing a jumping, flying side kick type move. Very dynamic, so you need to have a lot of power to come from your legs to do that, as well as a lot of control to generate the technique that's required, and flexibility. So these are all things that you pick up on a separate basis, and then you really just learn to collaborate all when you go out there and perform. So that's why exercises such as these, although they look quite repetitive, but once you get really comfortable with it, and you don't think about the pain too much or any negative barriers that prevents you from doing this exercise, it's a great element to add, because it can make up a massive strength component part of your training. And it also improve you in other sports such as rock climbing and running, because that uses a lot of your upper body as well. You'll be surprised. Gaining overall strength and being very comfortable with your body weight is a great advantage to have. It makes you comfortable with your weight, so you're not too fast on gaining weight or looking like this or looking like that, because you're perfectly designed to be applicable, the most applicable you can be for your weight. So everything you do is functional. So I'll be ending off the day now with doing the arm folded technique again, to just keep under control. As I mentioned earlier, it's an important element to have. So it's a good adaptation to add as well, and it really makes you think about your technique when you're not using your hands, because you're relying a lot less on your hands for balance when you're using your core a lot more. So it's important to remember that this is an advanced exercise, but once you are comfortable with it, it's a great one to mix in while you're training. It gives your upper body a break as well, and really lets you focus on your lower body. Now I'll be ending the day off now with some stretching. Over here you see me doing a handstand, except I'm trying to arc my back as much as possible so I can really relieve the tension in my lower back. Similarly with the crab, it relieves tension in the lower back as well, but it does a lot more. It targets all over the body, relief, which is why it's a great exercise to enjoy. And then moving on, I'll also be doing a hamstring stretch, which is something we're very familiar with, I'm sure. Before finally finishing off the day with some pull-ups on the door frame, I'm really trying to do a stretch if possible. As you can see here, just keeping it controlled, nice and slow. This is a great way to relieve tension in your lats and your arms as well. So remember to keep it controlled, keep it safe, and keep it secure. Thanks for watching.